Run.
Hi, everyone. This is Dan Blanchard, and I'm the presenter today for Writers Should Speak, how authors can share their messages and push book sales to the next level through speaking the advanced level. So who is Dan Blanchard? Well, if you did take the beginner class, you did find out a lot about me, and if not, then let me give you a little heads up on who I am. I grew up, I guess, through the Toastmaster ranks after taking a college speaking course. I was interested in right away. I got into Toastmasters and did very well. And Toastmasters probably gave over 100 speeches, won a whole bunch of competitions. And then after Toastmasters, I went into and I wrote a book, and I spent a lot of time speaking on TV, appearing on TV interviews, radio interviews, and out in the real world of speaking of post Toastmasters, where I've probably given over 100 speeches, including keynote. And one of my proudest days was when I had to give 3 one-hour speeches to 3 different crowds on 3 different subjects. And I had to give the hour speech, get in my car, drive an hour, give another hour speech, get in my car, drive another hour. And I went on, I guess, very proud that I was able to give 3 different speeches to 3 different audiences in one day. So now I'm pretty much the kind of guy, I'm in the spot now where a lot of people actually come and ask me to speak, which is really cool, which is where I'm hoping to get you to through this course. All right, so let's get started on this. Quick review, if you did take the beginner level, and if you did touch on this real quick, right? So why speak? Basically, you want to speak because it builds your courage muscle. It opens up a lot of avenues to you of meeting new people and having different streams to be able to sell your books, tweak your message, and the benefits just go on and on and on why you speak. So we should definitely speak. Now, if we're gonna speak, one of the biggest things we have to do is overcome fear. Now, I know as an author, you know, maybe you had a little fear in the beginning of writing those books, but look, you did it. You wrote those books, you wrote those columns, you wrote those blogs, and you overcame the fear to do it. It's the same process with speaking, believe it or not. You just get out there, you do it, you start, and you overcome it. And I have a much bigger explanation in the beginner course. But if you're at this level of the advanced one, I'm assuming that you've pretty much overcome most of your fear, or at least learned how to manage it. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. The next one on what to speak about, well, it's the things that you think about when you go through the day. Maybe your work. Now, there may be the things you think about while you're working. Those are the things you speak about, okay? And how to start. I'll give you guys a lot of ways to start in the early beginner program on this. And, you know, you can Google things. You can look up associations, corporations. There's a million different places where you can go. I mean, you write out your speech, you get some training. You know, you put it in outline, and the list goes on and on and on of how to start. But again, I'm assuming if you're taking this course, you don't need me to talk much about that because you've kind of already got some kind of start, and you just want more advanced techniques. Okay, and one last thing for the review is where to find speaking opportunities. Again, I mean, word of mouth, networking, Google things, look under associations, corporations, nonprofits. Again, the list goes on and on and on. I'm assuming you've already found a couple speaking opportunities. So again, I'm going to get into, well, what do you do now that maybe you found some speaking opportunities or that you have spoken? Where do you go from this? So let's move on here to what's next. Okay, so when it comes to the speaking world, one of the biggest thrills, or at least, you know, in the beginning, one of the biggest thrills is actually to get out there and give that speech. And when you give that speech, you're on top of the world. And sometimes, you know, you're worried during it, even though you're on top of the world. You're worried that they're not going to like what you said. But when you're done, you find out that they really didn't hate you, didn't hate your message. They actually kind of liked you. You're like, that is so cool. Now, for some of us, we're on top of the world, and that's a great place for a lot of us to stop. You know, a lot of us are like, dude, I did it. It's cool. I'm not going to do any more because I'm too scared to do more. I just want to do it once, whatever. You know, that's like a one and done sort of thing on your own doing. Now, for some of us, there's a different road. You know, we want to keep going. We want to do more advanced speaking. We want to get in front of more people and have more opportunities to make money speaking and sell our books. So when we fall in that category, what we don't want to be is a one and done. All right? We don't want to get in there, give out one speech, have everybody pat us on the back, clap on us, and then for it to never happen again. We don't want that. So what do we have to do to make sure that we're never a one and done? Well, here's how some of the things you can do, okay? We have to figure out who our ideal customer is and who our customers are, all right? As we figure out who are from the market and world, some people may call that like avatars, but as we figure out who these ideal people are, ideal customers are, avatars if you will, right? We're going to begin to understand, like their habits, their preferences, their perspectives, like the behaviors, if you will, okay? And then this is going to make it easier. When we start getting that understanding, this is what's going to make it easier for us to track down our ideal customer. Because I'll tell you right now, if we don't have our ideal customer in front of us, we're going to be beating our heads against a wall and not really getting anywhere. We just might be that one and done, and we don't want that, okay? So what we got to do, find that ideal customer, with them so that we're not that one and done. Now in the speaking world, there's a lot of different ways to go, okay? And I think just briefly I'm going to touch on the motivational speaker right now with the industry expert speakers, okay? So if you're a motivational speaker, right, that's great. I do a lot of that. I love it. It's a lot of fun, okay? But the first thing you're going to have to do is to be really good at speaking. Yes, you're going to have to get really good at speaking, or you absolutely will be a one and done. And then when you're really good at speaking and you get out there and you hit that home run with that motivational speech, you inspire everybody there, right? You're going to have to get some leads. You just can't walk off that stage and drive home smiling all the way home thinking your phone's going to ring. It's not. It's really not going to ring. You got to go get some leads. So that's the next thing you do, okay? You get leads, all right? Or you will be a one and done if you don't go get some leads, right? Eventually, you're going to have to, if you are that motivational speaker, eventually, you're going to be forced to widen your circles and to start traveling further and further out to find these ideal customers, these ideal clients, these avatars, if you will, right? So you're going to have to go farther and farther out if you're a motivational speaker. Now think about this. I mean, most successful professional speakers, they do make a lot of money. They do love what they do. You know what I'm saying? It's like a natural high for them. Right? They love what they do, but they do spend a lot of time on the road. Right? So if they want to get that next speech, who knows where they have to go? So they do spend a lot of time on the road. So just be aware of that. But again, I do a lot of motivational speaking. I love what I'm doing. Okay. Another model, another way to go, right, is to be like an expert. You be an expert who solves problems, let's say in specific industries, and that might be a better speaking model for some of us than let's say the motivational speaking models, okay? Because being an industry expert, you kind of get to stay, more in like one place as a consultant for let's say a longer time before you got to be, going on to the next one down the road, okay? The experts, the industry experts, I mean, their circles don't have to be as large as the motivational speakers, okay? They don't have to be on the road as much as the motivational speakers. So if that's the way you like it, then that's maybe what you should look at, okay? But here's the thing. The expert industry speakers, like the motivational speakers, you got to be really good at speaking. I mean, it's a must or you will be a one and done. Like the motivational speaker, you also got to get leads. You got to get introductions to others who have similar needs and problems that you can solve, or you too are going to be a one and done, just like that motivational speaker. Okay? So, what are some more tips that we can work on so that we're not a one and done? If that's what we really want. I'm assuming if you're taking this advanced course and you don't want to be a one and done. All right? So let's think about this. Something that we can do is what I call get a purpose. Okay? Listen, here's the thing. Meeting planners, I mean, they're wonderful people, but but they're not necessarily looking for, let's say, strictly just a speaker. Someone who could talk about anything. They're not really looking for that. Most meeting planners are looking for someone that's like some kind of matter expert, somebody that's an expert on something. All right. And, I've been doing some work toward getting into doing a TED Talk, and it's the same sort of thing. They're saying we want an expert to come in here and talk, and maybe someone's got fresh ideas or ideas that work. We want an expert rather than just somebody who can speak good with just fluff. Okay, we want an expert. Okay, so you want to become that. You want to get that purpose. You want to be able to speak like an expert. You want to find that niche to make it your own and get really good. Get that purpose. Get really good, okay? Another thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get like a video of you speaking. Now, if you don't have a video, don't be scared. It's not that hard to do. You can do it. Perhaps you have some friends that can help you out on that. Help you film you at one of your speeches. Perhaps, if you speak for free somewhere, and I'm going to talk a lot about that tonight, speaking for free versus speaking for pay. But if you speak for free, many times you can barter with the organization that you're speaking free for and have them film you. And many times they have like professional people there that will do a very nice job of filming you. Especially if you jump into, let's say, you do a speech as an expert with a large association. I know I just did one recently with the American Federation of Teachers, and they filmed me there, and they did a great professional job. And they paid me too. So even if you're getting paid, you can still maybe get that filming done from the venue that you're speaking at. You got to ask them. You don't get it if you don't ask, okay? Another thing you need to do is you need to build a speaker profile sheet. So I can already hear you right now. You're probably saying, well, what the heck is a speaker profile sheet? Or maybe some of you have already begun the beginnings of a speaker profile sheet. So pay attention and let's see if you got all the things that I'm going to mention, okay? A speaker profile sheet is just basically, let's say, a one-page, maybe a two-page PDF that pretty much just, just kind of gives you a professional and speaking experience to, the venue that you're trying to speak at, okay? So what's going to be in this thing? Maybe like a brief biography probably should be in there. Some people might call that a speaker profile, to be in this speaker profile sheet, okay? You want to have some kind of media coverage, all right? So whatever you've got for media coverage, throw a few of those in there so they see what you look like on the media, and you got that other third-party endorsement through the media, okay? Maybe it's an indirect endorsement, but it's still an endorsement, okay? You're going to want to look for, maybe some information that you maybe have on 205, some keynote speeches that you have to offer. So give them some information on that, okay? Make sure it sounds compelling too, all right? Another thing on your speaker profile sheet is you should have a list of your recent speaking gigs, whether they were paid or unpaid. Again, that shows that, other people have accepted you and like what you do enough to hire you. So definitely include that in there. Have a link to your showcase video. So remember I talked to you before about getting a video? Get that video, get it up on YouTube and wherever else you can get it up on, and have a link to that video, okay? Have that video on your website, but have a link to that video, because people will be much quicker to hire you if they can actually see you speak. And a video is a great way to do that, okay? Also on your speaker profile sheet, be good for you to have a couple of well-phrased client testimonies. So remember I just told you, you got to ask at the end for leads, endorsements, testimonies. So get some of those and then get them on your speaker profile sheet. Another thing, you absolutely want to have some kind of speaker headshot. Should be professionally done, all right? Don't give them a selfie or anything like that. Have it professionally done. Have some of your web links in there and any details you may have on, if you have any publications, if you have any awards, any professional bodies, or any other like impressive information that you got that may put them over the top to choose you rather than somebody else. Include that stuff in your speaker profile sheet. Keep it brief. Don't go crazy. You know, these people are busy. They don't want to look at something that's 5, 10, 15 pages. Try to keep it to a page or two, okay? So listen, once you have your speaker sheet, okay, then what you can do is you can just start sending out to agencies, meeting planners, for prospective events, that you're hoping that you can get in there and speak at, all right? You do this out, you get that speaker profile sheet out there, so hopefully you definitely won't be a one and done, and your name is out there on the circuit. Okay, so something else you can do is you can get some freebies, okay? I'm going to talk a lot about this on and off tonight. But give some freebies. I mean, this is a great way to build testimonies, is when you, get your video done, exposures. It's easier to get hired if you give freebies. Hey, you can get all this information that you can put into your speaker profile sheet, okay? You can, when you do freebies, sometimes you can barter a little bit and sell books at the back of the room, which I'll talk about a little bit later, on sometimes how that's really good. And you definitely want to use your, your network, whatever you may have, family, friends, your community, use your local chamber of commerce, right? Anything, social media, right? Pass out your business cards everywhere. I have friends that put their business cards in the envelopes when they're paying their bills. So, I mean, like, somebody has to open up those bills. So why shouldn't they open up and get my business card? Yeah, you never know. Maybe you get a speech out of that, or a couple of speeches, or sell some books or something like that. You never know. So use your network and do everything you can do. Okay? So, like I said, we don't want to be a one and done, okay? This is an advanced level course here. And what we want to do is we want to take our game to the next level, okay? Listen, I'm going to be honest with you here. Speaking business is tough, okay? It's not a hobby. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to run this as a hobby, you're never going to be, advanced speaker that you want to be in a position to sell all those books you want to sell, okay? I mean, speaking business is a tough business. The failure rate is the same as like for actors, for singers, for dancers. We're talking in these fields, including the speaking field, less than 1% make it big. All right, so this is not a hobby. I mean, if you're going to treat it like a hobby, then that's fine if that's what you want. But if you want to be one of the top speakers who's getting lots of speeches, making a huge impact, being paid a lot of money to speak, selling a lot of books through it, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to work hard, and you're going to have to work long to make this happen. So just realize this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. There's a lot of work involved here, a lot of time, and you're going to need plenty of keynote speaking experiences to make it big. All right, you're going to have to get keynote speaking training. All right, you must learn professional level speaking skills. You have to be able to easily, entertain your crowd, educate your crowd. You got to motivate them. You got to inspire them, right? I mean, people have to be willing to hear you. They have to want to hear you speak, right? Willing to pay, if that's what it comes down to, right? This thing that I'm talking about right now, this is like, way beyond like Toastmasters. I mean, I came up through Toastmasters. I love Toastmasters. But we're talking, this is beyond Toastmasters, right? This is beyond a college speaking course. I took a college speaking course. I thought it was great. I've done a lot of these things, but the level I'm talking about right now is way beyond that. You need to get keynote training. And there's lots of ways to do that, but you need to get keynote training. You need to do keynote speeches if you plan on making it to, that advanced level, the really, really big level, less than 1%, okay? So how are we going to do this? How are we taking our game to the next level, right? Besides just, the keynote training. Well, we're going to have to select a topic in which you have serious expertise. And, and of course, the companies are willing to pay for that help to solve their significant problems. Let me repeat that, significant problems. When people hear of major significant problems, most people run away. All right? Other people realize there's a lot of money to be made there. All right, so if you can solve it, if you can solve significant problems, you can be one of the top speakers, making a lot of money, selling a lot of books, okay? Now, if your speech does not solve significant problems or make, let's say, the company that you're speaking for significant money, then you're always going to struggle as a speaker. All right? You're always going to struggle to sell books through speaking. All right? You're never going to be one of the top people. All right? If you don't have, like this level of expertise yet, don't sweat it. Begin studying today and get that level. You can do it. It happens one step at a time. Okay. All right. So moving on, deliver free speeches. And I'm going to hit on this over and over and over. I'm going to go back and forth between paid speeches and free speeches. Believe it or not, even the top people from time to time still deliver free speeches on their topic. Okay. I mentioned in the beginner level course about how Jay Leno, he was told by his mentor, anytime you have an opportunity to get up there and tell your comedy, your joke, get up there in front of the audience and speak, speak for free, and I hear you turn down one of those, his mentor says, I'll drop you. I will no longer mentor you. Guys, it's the same thing with speaking. All right. If you get an opportunity to speak for free and, they don't have the budget to pay you or whatever it is, you're not getting paid. You turn it down because it's not paid, but you turn it down when you got nothing else going on that night. You're being foolish. I'm saying you're just not helping yourself when you do that. So speak for free on your topics, okay? And do hundreds of speeches. And you're gonna go back and forth between doing free ones and doing paid ones, okay? But do hundreds of speeches. Go to the Rotary civic organizations. Do hundreds of them there, right? This will give you, and other places like that. This is going to give you the experience that you need to prepare for the pros. For those keynotes. To be that 1%. All right, so you're going to want to do that. Another thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create unique points of view. All right. Do this, based on expertise. That let's say the challenge is conventional thinking, but you can defend. You need to be able to defend it. Okay. Person that comes to mind on this one is Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. He was very controversial. He had a very unique point of view. Every single time he shouted from the top of the roofs that your home is not an asset, your home is a liability. People thought he was crazy, that all the traditional conventional thinking was that your home was obviously an asset. He said, no, it's not. That was his unique point of view. And he was able to back it up with a simple little thing of saying, listen, anything that takes money out of your pocket is a liability. So he talked about making repairs to the home. You're reaching in your pocket, you're pulling money out, and you're spending money on making repairs to the home. And thus, that's not an asset, that's a liability. And your home does not become an asset until the day you sell it, if you're not upside down and it's above and beyond all the money you've already put into it. And that makes sense. I mean, when he worded it that way, he was able to defend his very unique point of view. And he was able to get on radio stations and TV stations all over the world. And he's still doing it today, all these years later. He's still doing it today. He was able to sell many, many, many books. And he's still selling lots of books today from that unique point of view. He was asked to speak for lots of money all over the world, and he's still being asked to speak today, okay, because his unique point of view, and that he was able to defend it. So if you have some sort of expertise that allows you to defend a unique point of view, then that's definitely a way to take your game to the next level. Robert Kiyosaki is very, very successful doing that, okay? Another thing you could do is select a niche market, these solutions within like a sector that has money, okay? Corporations, for example, if you become a corporate speaker, they can pay you very well. Some places in the social sector, will pay you fairly, and some can't because some don't have money. But then you'll have to, maybe you'll want to speak there anyways, but, because of what you can maybe borrow and trade off, the experience you can build and all that stuff. But ideally, one of the easier, quicker ways to go is to find that niche and maybe even a niche within a niche, like a micro niche, right? And that has the resources to pay you, and then get in there and do what you do best and get that money and get those future book sales. Okay. And then get, of course, those leads, those testimonies, and everything else. All right. So moving on, marketing. Right. Most as an author, I think I'm speaking right up your lane here. As an author, which I am too, so many times we have all probably thought, but I don't want to market. I just want to write. That's what I want to do. I want to write good stuff. I don't want to market. My stuff is good, so people should just buy it anyways because it's good. If they would just read it, right? It's good. They'll buy it, right? They'll invest in it. Well, the problem is without marketing, they don't know you exist. And not only is that true in the authoring world, but that is also true in the speaking world. So if you want to use speaking to help improve your author platform and to sell more books and make more money and do all those other good things, well, if you don't market, then you're going to be in not much of a better place than you are right now. So you're going to have to do some marketing, and you're going to have a little guts to set your fees, right? It's tough to come out and just ask for money as a speaker. Like the price when you're as an author, the price is on your book. When you're speaking, many times people are going to say, well, what do you charge? Or they're going to just try to avoid the subject altogether and not even bring it up and just hope you come and speak for free. It takes a lot of guts for you to, not only market as I just said, but to sit there and look them dead in the eye and say, my fee's $1,500. My fee's $2,000. My fee's $500. Whatever your fee is, you need to set that fee and you need to say it out loud to them, or email it to them or whatever, but you need to get it to them, and you need to have a little courage while doing that. It's not an easy thing to do, but you need to have a little courage. And if they can't pay that amount, then you got something to work with, okay? All right, so listen, I got to be honest with you here. Growing your career and improving that, your content's like really good, whether you're an author writing or a speaker speaking or both, which I promote. Be that author that writes and be that author that also speaks, right? Listen, it's going to take years. It's going to take years, okay, for you to get like, your customers, your avatars, your ideal customers, hopefully, to sing praise for you, to give you, those endorsements that you're hoping, and to hopefully do it on camera, because that's even more powerful, right? Testimonies on video, that's not going to happen overnight, all right? But it will. But it's going to take years. You're going to have some patience. But it will happen if you have patience and just don't quit. Okay? You're just going to have to get up every day, put on that white shirt and tie, and just go to work, right? Go to work every single day. You got to do this repeatedly. Okay? Your message, your service, over and over and over and over. So until people get what you do. All right. Listen, people don't change from like just reading like one single book. All right. They're not going to change from hearing one speech from you on your book. All right. People only change through a long-term, ongoing process of repeatedly hearing from you over and over and over and over. So you're going to have that patience. Okay. And here's the funny thing is if you have patience, and you get by those early hurdles, you're going to start to find and befriend a lot of other speakers. And you're going to find out something that's kind of cool. Real professional speakers, they don't really retire. They grow to love this business, right? And they do it forever. Like they don't retire. They pretty much die. They don't retire. Because what they're doing is fun, right? And what you could be doing, it's fun, and you can earn a lot of money doing that deep into your old age. I always joke with some of my friends and acquaintances and colleagues that with my book series, Granddaddy's Secrets, I always joke with them that someday, with my walker or my cane or whatever it may be, that I may be like hobbling out onto the stage in front of maybe tens of thousands of people out there at 100 years old, and I'm going to maybe speak into the microphone with a cracked voice, and it's going to say, let me tell you about my granddaddy's secrets. And I'm telling you right now, it can happen. It can happen. Have patience. Take your time. This is a game that you can play for the rest of your life. Okay? And you can have a lot of fun, make a lot of money, and sell a lot of books doing it. All right? So, trust me on this one. All right, so let's say you do become one of these speakers and you're not that one and done. You're taking your game to the next level. You're jumping into this game, right? So, and you're starting to become one of these people that you're seeing on my screen right now, all right? So how much do speakers get paid? I mean, what kind of money can you expect to make, okay? Now, we already know you're going to sell more books from doing this, right? But what about the speaking fees? I mean, how's that going to work out? All right, well, if you're one of the, let's say, industry speakers, which is the first bullet point you're seeing on this screen, you're not going to make, a ton of money being a newbie and just kind of jumping into the industry as an industry speaker. You could get free registration to go there and speak. They usually give you that, although I have heard some people have had to pay to get in, and it does happen occasionally, but usually you're going to get some kind of free registration. I pretty much have always gotten free registration. Nobody's ever made me pay to get in there and speak. Sometimes they will pay for your travel and your lodging, and sometimes your expenses too. Other times they won't. Other times you'll be on your own, get yourself there and give a speech and just do the best you can, network the best you can, get those leads, right, the best you can, and get those testimonies to help you with your next speech, which hopefully will be closer to what you want, okay? So now, if you're going up the rung a little bit, and now you've made yourself up to the second one, where you're an industry speaker, it's known as an expert, and let's say you're an average presenter. What kind of money you're going to make. Now, listen, I will talk about the motivational speakers in a moment, but let me just work on this for a minute. So what kind of money are you going to make like your upper run, okay? Well, here it is. If you're like an industry insider, that's being considered some kind of an expert, and let's say you got a presentation that's, maybe slightly rough around the edges, a little bit, what kind of money can you maybe hope to make? You could be looking at something about, maybe $250 to, maybe even up to something the highest $1,000 a day for something like that. That's no chump change. That's nothing to be sad about. That's good stuff, But, basically, this is kind of appropriate for people that have like some pretty solid content, maybe average presentation skills, and some organizations are going to offer like a stipend even to maybe offset expenses that might include traveling and lodging. So maybe that might be thrown in. It's not a bad gig. Okay, so now you're getting better. You're moving up the ladder of success, and now you're becoming an industry speaker, known as an expert, and you have great presentation skills. Okay, now these industry people, they're known as specialists and experts who have strong messages. They're a well-known name in the community. They got excellent, fresh content, fantastic presentation skills, right? They could pretty much be receiving anywhere from, let's say, $1,000 a day up to $4,000 a day. That's a kind of a nice place to be, right? Okay, again, moving up. Rising professional speaker. This is just getting better and better, people. Okay, these people, they're basically making a living. This isn't like a side thing. They're making a living as like facilitators, presenters, trainers, right? They have enough demand where they can charge higher fees. They usually, they represent maybe the best new, and veteran professional speakers in the field. They could be receiving possibly anything from $4,000 to maybe $10,000 a day. Yes, I've said a day. That's very, very cool. Okay? Maybe you guys should take your speaker to the advanced level, right? Okay, next one. The specialty professional speakers on the verge of marquee status. All right? Now, these professional speakers, right? they have a specialty niche area or some type of new fame, right? This could like include some of the motivational speakers, right? Maybe they have been they published like books or whatever. These are speakers, they make a lot of money, guys. They could be making $10,000 a day and higher. Maybe it goes like $25,000 a day. Wouldn't it be really cool to be one of these speakers? It would be even cooler, that last one on your list, the marquee names, right? These people are considered superstars. And again, some of them, are motivational speakers, right? Not just the industry experts. These are like household names, with some type of fame. They're, and they're typically, they're not even really truly known for like their speaking ability, right? Some actually have, let's say, poor to average presentation skills, but it's their celebrity status that eclipses, let's say, their inability to present like maybe as well as some of the others. Okay, so but now listen, don't get me wrong here. On the other hand, some of these people are fantastic presenters. All right, so you got it mixed in. So the big thing here is this is pretty much celebrity status. All right, these are the people like like ex-presidents, right? These are like the Bill Gates of the world. The Anthony Robbins of the world. I'm sure you guys have heard of him, right? Like Bill Clinton, Oprah Winfrey's, etc. Goes on and on. These are the celebrities, and these people, they could be making $25,000 a day, and it just goes up from there. They could be up $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, and I believe I was told at one point the highest speech ever paid was George Bush, and it wasn't necessarily the money that he got paid at the time. He got paid from it was overseas. And they paid him like, a good amount of money. But then what they did was they also offered him stock options, which seems kind of weird, stock options. But, President George Bush, former President George Bush took it. And within a few years, those stock options just blew up. And he got paid millions and millions and millions of dollars off of those stock options, which put him in as the highest paid one speech ever. He made so much money doing that. Think about it, guys. Wouldn't it be great if we could just kind of like skip everything and go right to the celebrity status and have that ability to be able to pull in that kind of money, that kind of demand? Would be awesome. Listen, but for most of us, we're going to have to earn it, all right? So I'm going to help you figure out how to earn it. I'm going to help you figure out how to monetize what you're doing, how to sell more books, all right? So let's move on here. All right, so how are we going to monetize, all right? How are we going to do this? How are we going to monetize our services and products? And again, I will talk again on some of, believe it or not, free speeches versus paid speeches in here, okay? So if just quickly going back to where we were before, like I said, those things that we just talked about, those different targets or those different areas of speakers, just think about it. Where do you fall in there and where do you want to go? Okay? Now, for most of us, we're probably falling in right at the beginning. Even if we are somewhat advanced, experienced, we're probably falling somewhere in the beginning. We probably want to start climbing that thing, right? But right now, we're somewhere in the beginning, okay? And since we're probably still kind of new at this thing, we're probably going to have to speak for free. Yeah, I know this is a monetized section, but listen, just bear with me for a second. We're probably going to have to speak for free sometimes to get that experience and that exposure, for us and our books, okay? Now remember, any exposure for ourselves and our books is better than no exposure for ourselves and our books. So sometimes it makes sense to speak for free just to get that exposure, even if you are, climbing that rung, those ladders of success. Sometimes it makes sense to speak for free. Now, as you progress, listen, you're going to go back and forth. I've been mentioning this on and off here for this course, but you're going to go back and forth between like charging and not charging, okay? And one of the, basically a rule of thumb is, since we all got to eat, we got to try to get some kind of payment, okay? I mean, if if we're not getting money, we got to try to get maybe some kind of marketing and publicity, right? If we're not getting some other kind of payment, in lieu of like cash, then we got to try to get paid. We got to ask them for money. If they don't have that, maybe we got to ask for some kind of pre-order. Have them pre-order a book for everybody in the audience, right? Maybe they can do that. Maybe they can give us some additional marketing or exposure, professional, maybe levels of that, for us and for our books. Maybe they can record as I mentioned earlier, so we can put stuff on YouTube and our website. Maybe they can sell our book in the back of the room. You know what I'm saying? Or any other benefit that we can barter with them. I mean, try not to walk into somewhere. Again, we got to eat, we got to feed our kids. So try not to walk into somewhere with no benefit for yourself. Try to get some kind of benefit, even if it's just amping up your exposure a little bit, but try to get some kind of benefit there, okay? Now, here's something. I mean, if you can sell, your products or services at the back of the room, believe it or not, sometimes this is better than getting paid as a speaker, okay? You see, the beautiful thing about this is that, you're going to beat out other speakers who are like charging a fee for their speaking service, because they don't have to come with money to give it to you. So you're going to beat these people out who are charging, right? And theoretically, now think about this for a minute. Theoretically, you could actually make more money, spreading out your fee among the whole audience. With them purchasing your products and services, let's say in the back of the room. So you spread out your fee through the whole audience, rather than just putting it entirely on one event planner. I mean, you kind of reach into the pockets of hundreds of thousands of people. And if you get, let's say, 10, 20% of them to reach into their pocket to buy your book in the back of the room or whatever other product or whatever other service you have, you've got an opportunity to make way more money than one event planner can pay you. Okay, so definitely something to consider, okay? Now, if none of these perks that I had mentioned above are available, just remember again, some exposure is better than no exposure, all right? So go ahead, speak, build your network, try to build word of mouth, do anything that you can do for that, okay? Okay, so some other ways to monetize your speaking and hopefully get you to sell some more books is you can actually book your own event, all right? Maybe you charge at the door, maybe you don't. You have events where you talk about or, your book, you teach things around your book, you do these seminars, from there. You can try to get seminars. You can try to get coaching from there, right? You can sell your books at these things, like really cheap if you want to. You can go with the strategy of just trying to make a little bit of profit. Some people even give their books away at these things, right? Because it's part of their business plan, right? And maybe the low ticket sales to get in kind of covers this or helps out a little bit, okay? Because when I say it's part of the business plan, some people are actually using their books and giving them away really cheap or free because they're actually trying to go out after the bigger profits of coaching, consulting, just basically solving problems. It kind of goes back to the old solving problems, right? Some people run from it. Hopefully we run toward it and fix and solve problems and make some money for doing that. All right. And then I'm going to talk a lot about this coaching, consulting stuff as we continue through here. So I'm going to go back to that a bunch of times. Okay. Now, if you don't want to book your own event, you can participate in someone else's event, participate in another event, and you can do all the same sort of things, to a degree that you could do if you were holding your own event. Okay. And the added benefit of this is that, listen, you're building long-term relationships. All right. Participate in other people's events. You have a relationship there. Who knows where that will go, what leads will come to that, from that, what information will come from that. It's a very good idea to try to do that if you want to be an advanced speaker who's selling more books, okay? Okay, so moving on, the next thing, target industry associations. If you want to, book, let's say, paid speaking, your best bet is probably to speak at conferences, right? Go to like industry associations, right? Go to them. Speak for these associations, and believe it or not, you probably, if you don't always have to even talk about their industry. I mean, that's kind of funny, but it's true. I mean, sometimes you can just talk about topics, that might interest their industry. Maybe topics that industry may want to know more about. Okay. And the good thing is, like, industry associations, they got budgets, right? They can pay speakers, and they're always looking for new and interesting entrepreneurs. So this could be a great opportunity for you, right? You can find these associations. I mentioned in my previous beginner course, it's from just a simple Google search. Guys, it's right there. There's thousands of these associations, okay? So you can find them, all right? So another thing you want to do is you want to see if you can, book consultant at companies. Believe it or not, last year, according to Business Week, companies paid outside consultants $39.3 billion. Yes, that's with the B. Wouldn't it be kind of cool to be part of that? Get a little piece of that pie? Okay? Listen, these companies, they got money, right? They bring in consultants all the time to train on every topic imaginable, all right? So why not you, right? And listen, and while you might not be getting the experience of speaking to, let's say, a large crowded room, it's not that big of a deal. You can still generate income, make differences, in say this global company through speaking to, like, let's say, their small groups one at a time, right? And, and you could probably still sell books as well. So in the back of the room. So while you may not be speaking to super, super large, audiences or stadiums, these may be small groups, but it may be very profitable and beneficial to you. All right. So how do you book these consultant opportunities at like these companies? Well, let me give you a couple of clues on how to do that. Okay. One thing is you need to identify some kind of company where you think you can talk to the decision maker. Today with social media, we've got opportunities. You can use LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever it is, and go from one person to another to another. So if you think you've got an opportunity to talk to some decision makers, maybe you want to spend some time trying to go after that company, okay? And you're going to want to research that company. Identify what problems they have that you're going to be able to solve, okay? And once you get a hold of that decision maker, you want to take them out. Take them out for a cup of coffee or something like that, right? Spend the $2 on their cup of coffee, right? And take them out for coffee and talk to them, right? Now, listen, this is really a good way to go because, listen, a cold email really works. Now, a cold email is better than nothing, but you're going to be sending a lot of cold emails because they rarely work. I'm not saying don't send them, I do, but really try to get in front of people, okay? Because that's what works. Face-to-face is what works, okay? So that's what you want to try to do. If you're trying to book consultant at the companies and be part of that 39.3 billion pie, okay? So if you get face-to-face, you want to present the problem that you believe this company has, that you believe you can solve. And when you're doing this, come with hard numbers. Just don't come with opinions, I think I can help you. Come with numbers, okay? That's what they want to do, all right? They want to know that they're going to not waste their time on you, that you're going to make them money, right? They want to know that there's going to be some kind of return on their investment. So come with numbers, okay? And listen, and charge them a rate that's worthy of your time and shows that you're a professional. We talked a little bit about this earlier, but you got to do it. You got to throw a number at them that may be scaring you, but throw it out and show them that you're a real professional. All right, don't be scared. Fake it until you make it if you got to. All right, but do it. All right, do it. So, and while you're at it, listen. And if you do get in front of them and do get this opportunity, right, you need to do a good job when you're consulting at these companies because you need to get referrals. So you're not a one and done, right? You need to get those testimonies and all those other things so you're not a one and done, okay? All right, so moving on here. We need to figure out how to monetize some more, all right? All right, one of the things you can do is you can leverage, Rotary clubs Chamber of Commerce meetings, any one of those. I mean, every state has like these Rotary clubs, Chamber of Commerce meetings, and lots of other ones like them, okay? I mean, these meetings, they bring in speakers, okay? And while you're at this event, and while it may not, it may not be a paid event, listen, there's still plenty of opportunity there. These meetings, they're for, basically business owners, right? Business people, business owners, executives, right? And a lot of these people, they have their own events, right? So you do one good presentation there, and it can like create like a full speaking or consulting schedule for you, right? Lots of opportunities to sell more books, okay? And listen, there's many kinds of these clubs and opportunities all over. The Kiwanis Club, the Lions Club, the VFW, the list goes on and on and on. And oh yeah, don't forget about the BNI, okay? Coaching. Now, many authors and speakers, they find that their income that comes from coaching, it not only like supplants, but it also far exceeds the income that they make from their book sales, right? And sometimes even their speeches, right? And listen, in your book is what drives this. I mean, you should be thanking God that you're an author, thanking God that you have a book, because from there, you can jump into the speaking, you can jump into the coaching, you can jump into a lot of different opportunities to make money, okay? I mean, coaching, it basically provides authors, it also provides authors with like new insights into their readers' needs. This is great. It's contributing to the conversation or the creation of, let's say, follow-up books, right? I mean, this is really going to drill this information in your head and fine-tune it in your head. It's going to help you, with creating your own information products. It's going to help you make better speeches, which means you're going to make more money, all right? And again, follow-up books. It's going to help you with your marketing, all right? There's a lot of things that's going to go on here through this coaching, and that started from your book, okay? So another thing you can do to help monetize is that you can make your book like a marketing tool for, let's say, something else, all right? Again, you got a book, all right? So, but here's the deal. You kind of have to sort of like stop solely focusing only on book sales. Your book can create so many other things for you, all right? You got to start thinking about your book maybe as a way to sell something that's bigger, a way to like start speaking, right, and making money there, like a way to like, to write more, to market more. I mean, everything's going to change. A book is, it's a multi-purpose marketing tool with unique and special abilities to create attention that you can turn into sales, all right? I mean, think about this. A book establishes you as an authority. It gives you credibility. Your book is going to raise your visibility and get you media coverage. Your book is going to help people find you. It's going to facilitate word of mouth. So go ahead, talk up your book, speak a lot about your book, as much as you can, and get that special attention, and then the book and the speeches are just going to help each other out, okay? And then what's going to happen is you're going to be able to do something with all this attention that you're getting, and it's called monetize the attention. So what the heck does monetize the attention mean? It means that you can do things like sell consulting and coaching. There's that coaching thing again, right? Again, I'm going to repeat things, quite often here because I want you to hear these things over and over and over and over, because we truly don't get something until we've heard it about 150 times. So when you're monetizing this attention, like I said, with that, you're going to be able to like sell consulting, coaching services. You're going to be able to maybe sell a physical product. Some people write and talk about health. Maybe they sell their product as vitamins that they sell along with their book and speeches, okay? When you monetize the attention you're getting from your book and from your speeches, you're going to be able to sell like, video courses, information products. Maybe you're going to be able to sell software, right? Maybe you're going to be able to like promote like done-for-you services, all right? Maybe you're going to be able to promote paid community mastermind groups. These are all great opportunities to monetize your attention. Right? Maybe you're going to be able to recruit employees to work for your company, to make you more money. Okay? Maybe you're going to be able to like do tax write-offs, believe it or not, right? Because listen, and not a lot of people talk about this as like a business owner, author, speaker, right? But when you got that attention and you're monetizing that attention and things start growing, there's another stream of income. It's taxes, and you can use that, to make yourself some money. Pretty much whatever you're spending money on, you can get, it's 100% deductible. You get your book cover, the layout, printing costs, proofreading, right? Any professional services that you use to create it, right? Anything, your editor, anything, any software, your travel expenses, your mails, it goes on and on and on, what you can do with your taxes. That's another income stream, right? That comes from, your book or monetizing the attention that your book and the speaking and all that stuff has got you, okay? So another thing you can do is, you can promote a conference, okay? Again, I know I said something like that before, but you need to hear it over and over and over, right? Maybe it's your own conference where you collect like entrance fee, there's another income stream. Maybe it's a virtual, right? Imagine that, imagine the virtual world and getting in there and being able to collect fees in there, memberships in there from, let's say, your book and your speaking and what your speaking is doing for your book. It's amazing, okay? Here's the thing, basically, you can use your speaking to easily increase your book sales in so many different ways and make you a lot of money. Right? And if you become an advanced speaker, you take some of the things I'm telling you here and you apply them, you become really good in advance, it's just going to compound this effect, okay? And then, of course, obviously you can use your speaking, about your book and about what you do in your message and how you're making a little bit of place. You can actually use your speaking, and especially your advanced speaking, or at least you're developing the advanced speaking, you can use that stuff to advance your speaking career where you can, make more money and have more influence, all right? And increase, let's say, your speaking fees. These are all great opportunities, okay? So, in conclusion, all right, let me start with this. You can do this. I know for some of you, it's going to be really scary to, to even give that first speech. But if you have given that first speech and you're like, okay, now I'm comfortable here, this is what I like, becoming an advanced speaker, it's really scary, I don't think I can do it. Listen, you can do it. You can do it. Go back to that beginner course, look at that section I did on fear, overcome your fear. You can do this. You can become one of the great speakers, advanced speakers, one of the 1%ers who are really making things happen up there, okay? And when you're going to do this, and how you're going to do this, is you're not going to be a one and done, okay? You got bigger plans than that, okay? You're going to build that profile sheet that you're going to hand out to places where you want to speak, and they're going to look at your profile sheet and they're going to love it, okay? You're going to take your game to the next level. Okay, you're going to build those keynote speaking skills and abilities and knowledge and all those other nuances and things that go with that. And if you're not there yet, that's fine. It's fine if you're not there yet. But start today. Start today working on building those keynote speaking skills and then get those keynotes. Don't be afraid of them. Do them, okay? Now, you're going to monetize your books, okay? You're going to make money off of your books when you become an advanced speaker. You're going to be able to sell products. All right. There was the guy, Bill Phillips. He had some great books on health and fitness, and he had all these supplements that were supposed to give you more muscle mass and healthier and stronger and faster. He made so much money off of his products and his little services and how to get in better shape. You have an opportunity to do that. All right. You're going to be able to sell a lot of books through speaking. Okay. Trust me on this. You're going to be able to sell a lot of books through speaking. And listen, I got to tell you, most authors, myself included, I know this, most authors are proud to have written a book, okay? But the thing is, many of them are they're afraid to speak about it. And you got to speak about it. Think about it. Authoring and speaking go hand in hand, right? It's only natural to write and speak, and share, all right? It's only natural to do those things. So you need to do those things. And if you're going to do them, then you might as well get good at them. You might as well, because the benefits are wonderful. The lifestyle, is wonderful. You can be living that lifestyle, okay? But what happens is you need to get started. You need to get started now. And you need to do it for the rest of your life. Because I'm telling you, if you have patience, you get through those initial hurdles, you hang in there, you can build yourself a lifestyle and make positive impact and influence in this world that'll make you so proud that you'll never retire. You'll do it for the rest of your life, and maybe I'll see you on the stage when we're both 100 and our knees are creaking while we're walking out there and we're talking to that audience and they're eating up everything we say. And you know what? We're having the time of our lives, even then, at age 100. Okay, so I want to thank all of you for spending time with me on this advanced course of why writers should speak. And I've got my contact information on this page. So if you need to contact me, ask me some questions, please do. I will get back to you. If you want to learn more about me and what I do, you'll see I got my website there at danblanchard.net. I got my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my Twitter, my email, and I'm everywhere else too. I got the Google Plus thing going on, the Instagram going on, the Pinterest thing going on. I'm all over social media. You won't have any trouble finding me at Dan Blanchard, Google Dan Blanchard, author, what speaker. You won't have any trouble finding me. All right, thanks for your time. Want you to go out there, create an awesome life for yourself as a writer who speaks. Thank you.